Hey everybody, Storm King here. Before the video starts, I just want to say we have much more attention on our next new Splatfest, Chives versus Rosemary. I thought of this idea originally as just normal herbs, but then I thought, you know what? Let's add Hive and Mary's names to it, make it much more funny. I knew someone, she liked it, so yeah. So Rosemary is getting a very much head start, and like I said here, the voting will end November 2nd, 11 a.m. Eastern time. All right, so yeah, so on to the video. Chapter Crimson, read and created by Storm King. So let me tell you a story. So there was this fine young man named Charles Crimson. Everybody loved him. Everybody thought he was one of the coolest people ever. He was very wealthy and very well put together. Until one fateful day when he was knocked out by a group of bandits. And ever since then he was mind controlled to go after 1,000 ponyta. I don't know why, but he just wants to go after 1,000 ponyta. But now that and then somehow he has this strange charm in his hand. And one day while he was walking out, trying to get some sun in before he goes back to stealing, he somehow teleports all the way to the present. And now Charles Crimson's looking around, trying not to go insane again, and wondering what happened to what happened to his building. So he went back to where his house used to be, more like his mansion. And then he saw a slightly bigger mansion with a bit more stable on it. And he almost thought he was seeing things. So then he knocked on the door, and then he asked somebody what was home. And then, he was answered. Someone answered. It was a strange gentleman by the name of Enum Crimson. And Enum Crimson looked at him, and he was confused as much as Charles was. And they tried to talk, but since they spoke different languages, because originally where Charles was from, he spoke more old timey. He spoke even like a bit of a. He spoke more. He spoke a lot of languages besides English. So somehow, then he started to question himself. Thought he was, going a little bit insane. So then he decides to go to this thing called the Storm King Castle, where, he thought he might get some info about, why he's here. And so then he walked up to the Storm King, and then he said, "Man, I'm going." And he said, "I'm going insane. I keep saying my entire life in front of me is almost gone." And then Storm King looked at him funny and said, "Huh. I definitely have seen you before. Why don't you come inside?" Well, that's not how it really happened, but that's one of the ways it could have happened. So anyways, Storm King lets the Crimson Bandit in. And then so the Crimson Bandit talked to the Storm King about how he traveled through time. And then somehow during all of this, he brought up the name called. He brought up the strange boy that he saw. And this is very recent, so it was about the same time. It was about how much Adam looked like since the original since he crashed the stage. So then Charles then said, "Oh man, I remember seeing the strange kid, right? And ever since then, I think he looks a lot like me. The only difference is he looks more, put together, kinda." And then Storm King asks him if he's talking about someone that he would know, and that could it be like like Enem maybe. So then the Crimson Bandit looks at him and he's like, "Huh, that's funny. The name of my dad was Enem. Oh no, was it a family name that I decided? Oh, I think I got it." So then Storm King looks at him and he says, "Wait, so you're one of Enem's ancestors? Huh, that's strange." So then, like Storm King normally would do, a news segment was brought up, and of course, the news owner said, "Breaking news, okay? A strange bandit coming from the past says that Edom is one of his descendants." I I don't know what that means. I'm very confused. So that's what the news anchor said anyway. So of course the jester, welcomes him in. The jester welcomes him in. But since Hyve and Mary don't have their voices, they couldn't speak a word. Well, of English, of course. They had to speak in, normal Inkling language, not Octoling language. So they of course tried to talk to him, but of course that didn't work. So eventually, Storm King figured out that Crimson Bandit a was a descendant of Enem somehow. One of the side characters is a descendant of another side character, which is strange. So, and that's all the story has to say to it. It basically says that the person made of crimson caught 1,000 ponytas, not for his own liking, but for the future of his family. I don't know what that could mean. So that is one of the many stories from the Storm King storybook. Maybe I'll read another one sometime. You will have a lovely good day, good evening, and good night. I'm Storm King, and I will see you sometime later. See ya.